Today is Chelsea versus Tottenham, and we're going to do a little match preview. This is the team that I think will be playing against Tottenham with a lot of the injuries, which I'll flash up on screen now. There's a lot of injuries in this Chelsea squad. We've known this for a while, but there's even more to account for. The bench is going to be very thin, but this is the team that I think we'll start with tonight. This is how I'd like the team to look on paper. As we saw the other day, Cucurella inverting into that midfield. This is something I want to see again. I think it helps us sustain possession. If you haven't already watched the video that I did about that the other day, go check that out because it explains it in further detail. But I think it just really helps us out off the ball as much as on the ball, but also just the ability to sustain attacks and the nature of our rest defence with Cucurella in that inverted role. I don't think I need to go into too much detail about the playing personnel today. I think everybody's got pretty much the same starting XI predicted just because of the squad state currently and the injuries. But what I do want to touch on is the impact that the wingers will have in this game, how you can get the ball to them in effective positions due to how Tottenham press, and particularly Noni Madueke and the effect he could have on this game. So just try to ignore that Thiago Silva is the central centre-back in this image. I made this image before the press conference, so I didn't know he was going to be ruled out. But the main focus of these images is Madueke and how you can manipulate that 4-4-2 Tottenham press to then give Madueke the ball in 1v1 scenarios to get at their left-back. It's important to note their left-back today is not going to be Udogie, he's out for the season, and it's not going to be Ben Davies because he has also been ruled out. So we're going to see something different from Tottenham at left-back, giving him even more of an opportunity to open up on that side of the pitch and really get at the fullback and make them a big part of this game one way or another. Here is just a few still images from the weekend from Arsenal's second goal where they managed to get in behind that left channel, Saka running in behind, and he got that goal just by running in behind. And it's where Tottenham were caught out of position. They were very high up the pitch. All it took was Havertz to get the ball, look up, play that long pass over the top into Saka, and he was in on goal. Cuts in on his left foot 1v1 with Davies, and it's a goal. So how can you manipulate that Tottenham press? As you can see, look at Madueke's position. The front four are spread out as like a 4 across the front. Gallagher is sort of dropping in to occupy one of the midfielders in early possession, making that 3-2-5, but Gallagher's just a tiny bit deeper. Madueke is making sure that he's pinned onto the fullback to begin with so that they believe that is his man. However, what you're trying to do is play and sort of edge play towards one side of the pitch so that you can drift the midfield 4 and the defensive line over slightly away from one side of the pitch, where you can leave Madueke to then drop into the channel away from his marker, where Palmer can then become the man to take up the fullback so that that fullback has a decision to make whether to stay with Palmer or to go with Madueke to stop him receiving the ball in that channel. Here's an example of that from Tottenham's game against Manchester United. Look here where Destiny Udogie is watching Bruno Fernandes. He's drifted inside. So where that arrow is pointing is actually where Garnacho is making a run. You've got Werner and Udogie both out of the picture there. They're both in the picture, but they're both not knowing where Garnacho is behind them. He's made a run and he's about to get in behind. Udogie does end up recovering, but it still ends up in a 1v1 situation for Garnacho, which is what I'm talking about Madueke getting into. These 1v1 scenarios, isolating this left back, whoever it may be Dragusan today, it may be Van der Ven playing at left back. We don't really know what Tottenham are going to do because they've got both of their number 1 and their number 2 left backs out. So we don't know how they're going to tweak it, but it's key to use this matchup today. Madueke's been in good form, and I think this is the perfect time to unleash him, let him use his progressive carries and that ability to drive the ball forward and get the team forward as quick as possible. This is the best time to utilise that. And here's another few examples of those 1v1 scenarios that you're trying to get Madueke into with Tottenham's left back. However, I do think out of possession is just as important, if not more important, against this Tottenham side. I think you have to play in this sort of 4-4-2, but almost staggered heights 4-4-2. It sort of makes it look like this hexagon, and this is what Arsenal did at the weekend, which to some very good effect against Tottenham as well, to halt their central progression and force them down the flanks. By playing in this way and playing extremely aggressive, it is important to point out. You have to be aggressive with this Tottenham team and make them turn backwards and force them out wide so they can't go into those central pockets. If that ball makes its way into that central pocket, the players have to be ready to pounce and be aggressive on the press so that they can force Tottenham to turn out and turn backwards. By doing this, you'll then start to see the fullbacks coming closer and closer, more narrow inside it during that build-up to try and get those little intricate passes and to also open up the lane for the wingers to stay wide. But what this will do is this will then allow Madueke and Mudryk to also tuck in narrow with those fullbacks even more so in that hexagon shape. And when the ball does break, they have got that space to break into out wide, which is something Tottenham always leave. They do have very good centre-backs to help cover those moments. Very quick, very aggressive centre-backs in Romero and Van der Ven. But these are the types of scenarios that you want to be utilising, especially with the likes of Noni Madueke and Mudryk, who are quick 1v1 type wingers. So how do you guys think this game will go? Here is the table right now. A win for Chelsea would be massive. It would take them above West Ham, and it would take them within striking distance of Newcastle and Manchester United with the same amount of games played. It would be all to play for the end of the season. Can Chelsea get to 7th or even 6th? Let's see what happens. Leave your score predictions down below and make sure to come back after the game for the match review.